Welcome. We're going to flow through a gentle yoga flow this evening. And this practice is great for all levels, but great for beginners if you are new to yoga. So let's get started. We'll begin in Sukhasana, easy seated pose. Before you begin, grab a blanket, fold it in half again, fold it in half again, and then I would fold it in half again. Stick it right behind you, sit on the edge of that blanket. If you need to fold the blanket up to lift the hips up higher, that is perfect for if your hips are feeling really tight. Just elevating the hips up to sit on a pillow or a blanket will make this pose a lot more comfortable. And you'll start by bringing your heel in towards your pelvis and then bring the other foot right out in front. So try not to cross the ankles. We'll sit up nice and tall on the edge of our blankets, ground through the sits bones, and bring the hands on the palms, or bring the palms on the thighs, either palms down or palms turned up. Close down the eyes. We turn our palms up to receive more energy, and we turn our palms down if we're needing a more grounding experience. So whatever you're needing today, deciding now. Keep your eyes closed as you begin to deepen your breath. Take a few cleansing exhales out through your mouth. Releasing any tension. Notice where your shoulders are in space. Notice if your shoulders are over your hips. See if you can find some alignment here. Pull your belly button in towards your spine to slightly activate the core. Stack those shoulders over the hips and then slightly tuck the chin. Find length through the back of the neck. And continue to take those deep breaths. I'll walk you through a quick breathing practice just to center before our flow. And in today's practice, let's match our inhales to our exhales. So I will count let's count to 5 for our inhales, and then we'll exhale for a count of 5. We won't do any breath retention. We'll just inhale for 5 and exhale for 5. Nice, slow, and controlled. So let's inhale and exhale together to prepare. Let's inhale, exhale out through the mouth. We'll inhale to prepare. Just kidding. We'll inhale together for a count of 5. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do one more round. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See if you can hold the breath in. And slowly release your exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Completely empty the lungs. See if you can hold the lungs empty, breath retention. And then come back to a natural rhythm. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. Take a few more cleansing exhales if you need them. Shake out any tension. And then we'll come to an Ujjayi breath. Ujjayi breath, where we inhale and exhale through the nose. And then you slightly constrict the back of your throat as you exhale, as if you're fogging up a mirror or a window. Breath count should be around 4 counts on your inhale, 4 counts on your exhale. Keeping the lips sealed. Ujjayi breath warms up the body from the inside out. Bring your hands together at heart center, setting your intention for your practice. Bring something to mind that you're grateful for today. Remember that throughout your flow. And then we'll slowly blink the eyes open to come into the room, bringing our awareness to our mat. Release the hands down. Let's switch our position of our legs. So you may be feeling those hips getting a little tight as we sit in this pose for a long time. So we're gonna rest the hands palms down on the thighs, and we'll begin to take some small circles, just shifting the weight across the hips, across the sits bones, just feeling that nice stretch in the hips and in the back. Move slow and move with your breath. And then switch directions. Inhale forward, exhale around. One more. And then meet me back in a nice tall spine. And let's come forward onto our hands and knees for cat-cow, tabletop. Set the blanket to the side, you may need it later. Stack your shoulders over your wrists. Knees are about hip width apart. Spread through the fingertips and press into the pointer finger and the thumb. The toes can be either untucked or tucked, whatever you prefer. I prefer to press the tops of my feet into the mat to stretch the tops of my feet and my ankles. Moving through cat-cow, inhale to lower the belly, lift your heart and your tailbone. Spread through your collarbones. Gaze slightly forward towards the top of your mat. Exhale as you press the mat away, drop the head, rounding through the spine. Inhale, lower the belly, lift the heart. Exhale, cat pose, grounding through the spine. Open up between the shoulder blades. Inhale, lower the belly, lift the heart. And exhale as you round. Let's take one more inhale. Exhale. Come back to a neutral spine. Let's take child's pose. The knees can be slightly apart or as wide as your mat or knees together. Many options here. We'll slowly sit back, hips on the heels. If the hips do not rest on the heels, this is where we will utilize our prop to make it more comfortable. So it doesn't make the pose easier, it just makes it a little bit more comfortable if your hips and ankles are feeling really tight today. So my blanket is folded in half twice. Once long ways and then once in half. And then we'll roll it up so it's like a noodle or so. And I would put it, if the hips don't rest on the heels, put it in between your ankles and your hips and then walk the hands out in front of you. If the forehead doesn't come to reach the ground, stack your fists one on top of the other to create a pillow, or if you have a pillow at home, that's even better. But making sure, resting that forehead on your fists and making sure your spine is in a nice long line, and then make sure the shoulders are relaxed. Soften through the jawline. How's your breathing? Come back to that Ujjayi breath. Take a few more deep breaths in your child's pose. On your next inhale, release your hands, walk the hands underneath you. Inhale to rise up. Set the props aside. And let's come into a downward facing dog. Hands are slightly wider than shoulder width. Tuck the toes under. Inhale, lift the hips up to the sky. Exhale, downward facing dog. Release that head down in between the arms. Gaze back towards your feet or towards your thighs. And then just gently pedal the heels, lowering one at a time. Really spread through the fingers and press into your pointer finger and your thumb to protect the wrist. Just shifting side to side, finding a little movement here. This will be the most challenging pose that we take today. Or the pose that requires the most effort. Take a few more breaths. And then on your next exhale, slowly release the knees back down. Walk the hands back underneath you. And let's swing the legs around out in front of us. Slowly make your way there. And let's take the soles of the feet together for Baddha Konasana. Variation A. Also, if the hips are tight, utilize that blanket to elevate the hips up, just like we did in Sukhasana, easy seated pose at the beginning. Make sure you're sitting on the edge of the blanket so the pelvis can tilt forward. Hold on to the ankles or the soles of the feet. We'll inhale to sit up tall, find length through the spine. And then exhale as you hinge forward at the hips, keeping a flat back. Just go as far as you feel comfortable till you feel that stretch, that opening through the hips. And then come back to your breath, focusing on those inhales and exhales, making each one about 4 counts long. Take 2 more deep breaths wherever you are in this fold. See if you can go just a millimeter further into the fold on your last breath. Inhale to rise. Exhale as you extend the legs long. Let's take Paschimottanasana, forward fold. Same thing, sit on the edge of the blanket, ground through the sits bones, and then find length through your legs here. Engage the thighs slightly and flex the feet slightly. So we're not soft and relaxed, we're slightly engaged and sitting up nice and tall. So if this is a deep enough stretch for the hamstrings, that's beautiful and exactly where you are and where you're supposed to be. Just honor that in your body today. Show yourself some love, self-love, and kindness about where you are in your yoga practice. And just know that it does take time and consistency to get better. So staying here, if this is enough, if you'd like to go further, hinge at the hips, but see if you can fold, keeping a flat back first. Focusing on your breath. Remembering the intention that you set at the beginning of your practice. What are you grateful for today? Feel free to exhale out through the mouth. Just sigh it out. Take that cleansing breath whenever you need it. On your next inhale, we'll slowly rise up to a seat. Beautiful. Let's roll onto our backs. So adjust the hips, set the blanket aside. Use your hands to support you to roll back, or if you'd like a little core work, which I suggest, we're gonna slowly roll onto our back. So feet out in front of us, like we're gonna come into boat pose, Navasana. Reach the arms out in front of you, take a deep breath in, and then tuck the tailbone under. Exhale as you slowly roll onto your back. Strong through your core. Take your time, slowly arriving. And then once you arrive, walk the feet in closer to your hips, feet slightly apart. Roll the shoulder blades like together on your back. And then place the hands down by your hips, palms are turned down. We're setting up for a bridge pose. So when you're ready, we'll inhale, press the heels into the mat, lift the hips up to the sky. Stay here and breathe, squeezing the glutes, the inner thighs. Keep that core engaged, but continue to breathe. Exhale as you slowly release back down to the mat. Untuck those shoulders. Figure 4, right side. Hug the right knee in towards your chest first and give that right knee a hug. Pull it in towards your chest. And then just gently rock it side to side. And then give that knee a few circles in one direction. Continue to press that left foot into the mat and keep your core engaged. And then reverse direction of that circle. And then we'll take figure 4. So cross the right ankle over the left thigh. Let that right knee go out to the side. Keep the right foot flexed. If this is where you are in your practice, for your hip opener, that's wonderful. Stay here and focus on your breath. Slightly tuck the chin, find length through the back of the neck. If you'd like to take it further after a few breaths, you would brace your core, just keep that engaged. Inhale to lift the left knee in and up and in towards your chest. The hands can interlace around the left thigh. The right hand just comes in between the legs. Hold and breathe here. Soften in the shoulders, the neck, and the jaw. See if you can pull that left knee in just a little closer, opening up more through that right hip. And then on your next exhale, slowly unwind, release your grip, set the left foot back onto the mat. Uncross the right ankle, extend the right leg to the sky. Flex the foot, press the heel up, circle that right ankle. Feel free to interlace hands behind the right thigh to support the leg. And then reverse direction of the circle of your ankle. And then slowly release. Set the right foot back down onto the mat. Taking that on the other side, we'll hug the left knee in towards the chest. Keep that right foot planted. Take a few deep breaths as you hug that left knee in towards your chest. You'll feel your belly expand, pressing into the top of the thigh. This is great for digestion. And then give that knee a few circles. Just massaging the hip joint. And then reverse direction. Figure 4, cross the left ankle over the right thigh, let the left knee come out to the side. Keep that left foot flexed all throughout this stretch. Stay here and breathe. Finding a flat back, long spine. If you'd like to take this further, inhale, lift that right knee. Interlace hands around the right thigh. Stay with your breath. Find that balance between effort and ease. Remembering what you're grateful for, and bringing a smile to your face. Your next exhale, let's slowly release the grip. Set the right foot back down to the mat. Extend the left leg to the sky. If you'd like, interlace fingers behind the left thigh. Circle that ankle and then reverse direction. I like to flex the foot, pressing the heel up, really deepening that stretch in my hamstring or the back of my leg. And then slowly release that left foot back down to the mat. Let's take one more bridge pose. Feet slightly apart, hands down by the hips, palms down. Inhale to lift up to the sky. Keep your gaze up. Find space between your chin and your chest. Really engage the lower body. And then exhale as you slowly unwind, lowering the hips back down to the mat. We're going to take a reclined twist, so supine twist. Grab a hold of that blanket and let's fold it up and put it in between the knees. Lift the hips up, move them to the left, and then slowly let the knees fall over to the right. Open up the arms, turn the palms up to the ceiling. Working on this nice twist, just keep your gaze up to the ceiling. If you'd like to take the twist deeper eventually, you would just look over to that left hand. And if you got there and it doesn't feel great on the neck, just come back to gaze up to the ceiling. Notice if your breath has shortened. See if you can take deep belly breaths here in the twist. So as you inhale, your belly expands. So nothing in the rib cage or the neck or the shoulders should tense up when you inhale. Keep the upper body relaxed and breathe down into your belly. Takes a little practice. Before we come out of this posture, make sure your arms are both out to the side. Turn the palms down, engage your core. Inhale to lift the hips up, or lift the knees up, sorry, and then lift the hips up back to center. Just pause here for a breath. And then we'll move the hips over to the right slightly. Exhale as the knees fall to the left side of your mat. Work on keeping both shoulders on the ground as the knees fall to the left. Turn those palms up to the ceiling. Keep your gaze up. Maybe look over to that left hand, see how it feels. Let's take a few more cleansing breaths, exhaling out through the mouth. And then reach those arms out, palms down, pull your belly button in towards your spine. Inhale to lift the knees back to center. Exhale as you adjust the hips, making your back nice and flat on the mat. Remove the blanket. Heel toe the feet apart. Let the knees fall in together to touch. Slightly tuck your chin in. Find length through your spine. Heel toe those feet back together. Candlestick pose. Inhale to extend the legs up to the sky. Stack the heels over the hips. Soften the knees. If you'd like to take this against a wall, it's just called legs up the wall. So it does make the pose a little bit more restorative, requiring a little less effort than having the legs hang in space. But this pose is, you get the same benefits either way. Increased blood flow circulation, promotes calmness, reduces anxiety, just kind kind of tells the nervous system that everything's okay. It's time to relax. Hands can be on the mat by your side. I like to have my left hand, my heart, right hand on my belly, and just focus on the breath here. Close down the eyes if you feel comfortable. Soften where you can. If your legs are up on the wall, stay there, or just lower the feet down and then extend the legs long for Shavasana, final rest. Hands can stay left hand on heart, right hand on belly, or you can turn the palms up to the sky as a sign of surrender. Soften where you can. Soften where you can, just close down the eyes. Be here for about a minute. Reawaken the body, just circle the ankles, like wiggle the toes and the fingers, circling the ankles and the wrists. Just move slowly, move mindfully. Take a few breaths in through the nose. Exhale, side out. Let's take a full body stretch. Reach those arms overhead. Bring the legs together. Point through the toes. Deep inhale. Exhale out the mouth. Slowly release. Roll onto one side. Take your time. Pause for a moment on your side. Take a breath here before you come and press up to a seat. Remember what you are most grateful for today. And then inhale to rise up. Use the hands to press up to a seat. Finding Sukhasana, easy seated pose. Once you've arrived, bring the hands together, heart center. We'll close with the sound of Om. Feel free to join me. We'll take a breath together to prepare. Let's inhale and exhale out through the mouth. Inhale to prepare. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. And I'll see you next time.